Salute. So I want to speak about Chelsea, the new manager, and what I perceive to be the major problem of Chelsea so far. For the past since they sacked Tuchel, that should be around 2012 or so. Yes. For me, I think the appointment of Xabi Alonso is a very good one. If you check his CV, it's like he's capable, to bring those players to what we expect from Chelsea. Of course, but we should not forget that mainly most of the issues we have had in the past is not really a managerial issue. Not majorly, yeah, let me put it that way. Because most of the manager we have, recruited or we have actually, appointed to be our you know, manager. Either let me call them coach because they have been head coach. That's what I'm heading to. They have not been given the power of a manager. It's like they have been dictated to on players to use what to do in a club, and that is what hindered their success. Like that was the major issue they had. If you check that team and you see the custom so far since, especially when this new management came on board, the new management we now have now, I think, I cannot really talk much about it because if you are used to, the Americans, they are pure capitalists, capitalists in the sense that they only invest on things that they profit on, like what profits them. Like they cannot invest 10 naira and they don't expect 1,000. So if you have a management like that in a club like Chelsea, you should expect that they are not there for the interest of the fans or majorly, they are there for the transaction purpose, majorly. You get. So if selling of players, if usage of a player will, profit them than winning a trophy, they would rather go for that. I'm just citing an example. And that was the major issue we have. If you have listened to most of the interviews from this manager they have sacked in the past, we should talk about the most recent one, which is Enzo Maresca. Look at the way he spoke about him not being given enough freedom to select players of his choice. And that was the major issue. Most of the times they don't use some players not because they are not fit. It's because the structure of this management does not allow them to use it. And I want to open our eyes to something. You should know that most of these players sign some things in their contract that they should play a certain game, whether they are performing or not. So these are the structural problems, one of the structural problems we have. So for me, I think rehabilitation, we should understand as fans that most of this problem will continue regardless of any coach they employ if they don't resolve this. Number one, the mindset of the management, which is meant solely for profit maximization. Let me put it that way. That's a main objective. So now, I learned that Xabi Alonso is coming as a manager and not as a head coach. That's a big, improvement announcement. And let's see what happens, because if you see coaches like Pep Guardiola, they are manager of the team, and that's why they are successful. Same as Arteta is also a manager, not head coach, not given a title of a head coach. So now this particular one now, Xabi Alonso is being given a title of manager, which means he's going to have massive impact on recruitment, on structure, on what he wants the team, his philosophy, and that is a very good optics that we should look forward to. So that's just my take on it for now. I'm still going to speak about more of the things I perceive in that team later on. Thank you.